I was fortunate enough to be able to come across a Kenner Fembot recently. She's not complete, but she's in amazing, immaculate shape for what parts do come with her, which is almost all the parts. I believe she's missing a mask and the little gun, if you will. So I'll go over that. But before I get into that $6 million stuff, because I'm going to show you that, I'll show you some Maskatron and some really cool Maskatron knockoffs that some of you may know or may not know or may have not seen, but I'll show you several variations of the figures because there's a lot of expensive knockoffs going around with the Maskatron figure. I was fortunate enough to get these at a relatively good price, and I have one variation which I'm still trying to verify its authenticity. It looks like it's part of it, based on well, the outfit, but it's not quite the same as the ones we normally see. All right, so let's check this out. So let me go into the real quick. I'm not going to do any spoilers on the Captain America movie, Brave New World. We went to see it yesterday. I'll just give you some quick impressions. I'm going to show you the AMC popcorn buckets they put out. It was good. It wasn't outstanding like some of the Marvel films they've come out with. And if you're one of those guys that's all about, well, it's not true to the comic book, then don't pay attention to anything I'm saying because you're probably going to hate it, I'm guessing. But they did really good CGI, and this is no surprise, so it's not a spoiler, but the Red Hulk in it is fantastic. I'm not, I purposely will say that I'm not a comic book addict. I never was when I was a kid. Mostly read Boris Karloff Tales of Mystery comics or any kind of ghost story comics. So that's all that was readily available to us for the most part when I was a kid where we used to live, which was outside the country. But I do enjoy comic books here and there. If the covers are cool, I'll put some up in the Hall of Heroes. If you haven't seen that, the Hall of Heroes is actually the room upstairs in my house that is the addendum to what you see down here, the Toy Room of Solitude. All right, so the movie was pretty good. I thought it was okay. It's definitely worth going to see, but I'd also say if you got a decent-sized TV, it's probably something you can watch in your house and you'll be fine. All right, so let me show you what I grabbed. I didn't even check prices before I went. I'll kind of go through them. First, they had a Captain America cup, which was pretty cool. It was kind of, it felt like it was like rubbery on the outside, but I'm like, I'm not paying for that. It was like $15. I'm like, I got enough cups in this house that I bought, and I'm just not doing anything with them. However, they did have this little tiny helmet here, which is actually a miniature popcorn bucket. I'm yet to see one they've ever made this small. There is a light for it. I haven't pulled the plastic out of it to activate the light, but his lights will go, the eyes will light up. If it's anything like the Ant-Man helmet, the lights aren't that bright, so it's not really like you're going to be getting, it's no flashlight, let's say that, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's a decent construction for the most part. I think if you were to drop this, it would probably shatter, though. Made in China. Good thing they got them here before all the tariffs kicked in and shit like that, right? So pretty cool. But what's really neat, or what I thought I liked the most, is this popcorn bucket, which is actually a shield now. I thought this was going to be, plastic. This part is actually metal, which makes it pretty cool. The one thing I will tell you is that the plastic piece on the inside, and I'll show you how this works in a second, is heavy. So the metal's such thin steel that if you were not careful, it can easily get out of shape. I mean, you can actually see that this piece snaps in, which is kind of the lock for this part here. So the way that it works is you have all these layers, right? So what happens is you turn it upside down. And this is where you got to be careful because this is where the shield can bend if you're holding it by the edge. You want to hold it underneath. Then you carefully turn this back and try and hold this. So now you get this. Now, this will drop back in, but if you look very carefully, they have all these little notches. So the idea is that you start twisting it. I don't think I got them all. Maybe I did, yeah. Twist them until they lock. There's your popcorn bucket. Now, I'm not putting any popcorn in here, I can tell you that. To let it go, it's simply lift, and the other direction, and down it goes. But it's a pretty cool piece. We're going to find some way to get this on the wall. I think I could come up with a pretty good hook idea for it. I thought that was pretty sweet. But yeah, they're very easy to bend. The colors on it are good. It's probably going to oxidize and get crappy pretty easily over time. So just keep that in mind. And just to give you an idea, normally these popcorn buckets, because I've bought Ant-Man, Transformers, all of them. They're usually in the 25 to 29 range, some a little more. The little helmet is $26 at AMC when you go in the theater, at least by me. And the big one I just showed you, the shield, is 50, or almost 50. It's a lot of money. All right, so let me show you some of the other cool stuff that I picked up. This I picked up, and I got it for a very fair price, because these are usually going through the roof. This is one of the Kenner $6 Million Man Fembot figures. Now, she has her very hard-to-find shoes. I guess they are wedge shoes. With the black suit and this colored apron piece that goes over. She also only has the one face, which is the Jamie Summers face, which you can take a good look at that. And I actually have a Jamie Summers doll to show you. And then inside you got the sticker. This one's actually in really good shape. They had her hair tied back with a red piece of yarn, which I promptly removed, so we'll straighten that out. But it's pretty cool. These go on with pegs. Right into the middle of the face, and I thought that was a pretty cool figure. I know the Jamie Summers doll, a little bit of research, they did 3 versions. Kind of got this tracksuit version here, and if you take a look, it's a pretty good likeness of her face. They probably use the same mold, paint a little different. There's another version which I happen to have mostly in the box, which is this kind of purple outfit. And then there was, I believe there was another one, and maybe there was more, I don't know, but there was another one, I think it came with a green jumpsuit. And I'm just gonna move this over here for now, but very, very cool. This is a really pain in the ass figure to get. From what I understand on this figure is that it's actually, I guess they put them out towards the tail end, so maybe they didn't sell a lot because kids weren't buying them, I don't know, but whatever it is, they're getting expensive. I've seen figures in less than half this condition go for more than double what I paid for it. So pretty good. I actually had won one of these once for about, it was $99, and then somebody must have contacted a lady and said, I think it was on Etsy, and she said, oh, yeah, I lost it. I couldn't find it. Right, somebody probably offered her more money because it went so cheap. All right, so let's get these out of the way. So I was going to show you real quick, just as a comparison, a couple things. One, now he's in a spacesuit, and I'm going to have to thank, I think this was Brian Sanchez who got me this this suit here, which is the Kenner $6 Million Man. This is the second version, if I remember, and you could tell by the arms, and the expertise I let come from the guys that helped me get them together. Danny, Brian, some other guys in the group that have helped out. So the neat thing about the American one is he usually has a bionic here and a bionic here on the regular arm with the roll-up skin, which, as we all know, deteriorates over time. They also have these buttons on the back so that you can, his arm can lift up an engine and so on. What's pretty cool, this one I obtained from, this is a Lily Leedy version. This one's actually different. Explain this. So first of all, he only has one bionic in the forearm, which I think, yeah, you'll see there's only one on his arm here. There's only one, there's nothing up higher. On this one, he does have skin. This one's kind of coming up, the skin's breaking, of course, deteriorating. He's got the button, the bionic eye is a little bit different. What's different is the legs on the American one, they snap in, if I remember correctly, they pop on. This one actually has, it's kind of hard to show, but this one actually has pins. It's very much like a Mego Type 2 body from the waist down, which I thought was pretty interesting. That this is the Lily Leedy version of the $6 Million Man, or Hombre Bionico. I think that's what it is, yeah, Bionic Man. But he's a great, great figure. Same height and everything. Almost the same thing, a little different. Now, the reason I'm going to show this is because I figured, hell, we got the Fembot out. Why don't we bring out the old Maskatron figure? So the Maskatron, as many of you know, probably have him. It's a really cool figure. He's got different arms you can put on. His arms pop off. His legs pop off. He's got buttons and gadgets all over to get him going. And then he's got these 3 faces. He's got the John Saxon face. He has the Steve Austin face. And these are pretty much, unlike the Fembot that has pegs on the back, these just pop off, right? So they just clip onto the side. You've probably seen these before. I'm sure it's something new. And of course, the last one has the Oscar Goldman face. Well, somebody realized that Kenner was doing something really good and said, hey, that's a great thing. Maybe we can make some money. And like a lot of bootleg companies and knockoff companies said, well, what can we do? So there was this very cool company. I forgot what the name of it is now. Forgive me. But they were made over in Europe. They came carded, from what I know, on a bubble card. I don't know if they came boxed. I don't remember. I'd have to take a look. But if you go to MyMegoLike.com, you can search out. There's 200-something pages of action figures and stuff, and these are on there. So these are actually, this one, his foot is a little loose. We're gonna have to actually tighten that up. But this is actually the L'Homme Robot aux quatre visages, or Robot Man with 4 faces. He has these really cheap knockoff, bigger than the Lone Ranger, but kind of Marks Gabriel, Louis Marks Gabriel, or Hubley Lone Ranger boots. They're just cheaper. They're plastic. He did come in this green with this wonderful silver suit. If you look inside, and you know, it's amazing. I don't know how many kids own these, but apparently they beat them to shit, because you can see the only bionics are what's on his chest and what you're going to see under the mask in a minute. It's just a sticker, and they're usually worn. They were hinged. They had decent mobility. This one is actually, this is the John Saxon face, or the Maskatron, right? Is this John Saxon? I guess the John Saxon face. Well, the Maskatron face. All right. So here's the inside. This one actually has a very nice protected, well protected. It's just a sticker on there, right? He's a little worn in the back. Now, this one also came with, actually, this is actually the proper head for him. Sorry. This is the proper John Saxon face for him because of the color. These actually came, believe it or not, 2 separate colors. This doesn't show up. There's a lighter brown, which you'll see on the back of his head, and there's a dark brown, almost a really dark brown. And so these pieces, or these masks, again, they clip on just like the other one, right? Oh, nice. Is that red wand? That's awesome. So in addition to that, they came with the other head. Instead of coming with $6 Million Man, Maskatron, and the John Saxon face, they came with the John Saxon face, what's clearly an LJN Mr. Action mask. I guess that's their G.I. Joe version. And then they took it a step further, and they said, well, why don't we capitalize? We're going to capitalize. We might as well go big or go home, right? So they actually capitalized on a Mego, Cornelius, or Galen face. So he has this monkey mask. He has the LJ Mr. Action mask, and then he also has the John Saxon mask, if you will. Here's what the blue one looks like. This is a little bit faded. Actually, it's quite a bit faded, but they're very hard to come by. Same thing. This one give you a better view what the stickers look like on the inside, and so on. Then, of course, the mask that just pops off. He has a chip on his ear there, but you can see it's just a mask because this one's starting to peel. All right, so I have one more version of this. And my understanding was they only came in blue and green. Well, I ran into somebody who had one, which I purchased. It is the same body. It's the same stickers. It did come with 3 different masks, but the masks were these lighter colored ones. So where these came with a darker mask, this one came with a lighter mask. It's actually a reddish brown. This is the Cornelius face, obviously, or the Galen face. But what's interesting is he came in this kind of outfit. Now, again, let me give you a quick reference. These kind of came in these blue or green with the big collar and the silver on the front. This is straight yellow. There's no big collar. There's no silver. It's very similar, except the pants are shorter. The pants are shorter. The sleeves are shorter. You say, well, maybe that's not his outfit, and it's possible. But even the boots are very, very similar, but they're not quite the same. They're a little bit taller, and they're a little bit taller, and they're definitely a little bit different mold. This one's going to want to come off than the one that's here. It's going to be hard to see on camera, but I can tell you that they're skinnier. They have a little bit more form to them, a little bit wrinkle to them, and so on. And this is one that I came across that person said, well, that's how I bought it. We'll see. Not 100% sure if that's the case or not, but I thought that was a pretty cool version of it. So these are really cool. They're very hard to come by, and they're very expensive. Matter of fact, somebody has that blue one on eBay for years now. They're asking for $900, which to me is absolutely insane because the bodies are pieces of shit. They're crappy plastic, and they suck. They're really, really bad. So you've got all kinds of fun stuff going on here. The $6 Million Man line by Kenner was probably in the 70s, was probably one of the coolest lines out there back in the day. There was a lot of cool lines, but the bionic eye, the fact that he could lift the engine. I remember I got mine for Christmas. I wish I'd taken better care of it. And I had it for years till I finally gave all my Star Wars and action figures and Megos and G.I. Joes away to my best friend's brother, who destroyed them. He was younger, and he just played with them until he beat the crap out of them. So, yeah, very, very cool. A lot of very good informed collectors out there can give you quite a bit of information, quite a bit more than what I'm showing you guys here today. As far as the knockoff stuff, I don't know how many people have these knockoffs. I know there's a few that I've come across that have had them. I've never had anybody show up one that looks like this yellow. Now, the one thing I will say is that if you can see very close, I'm not sure the material, it's shiny and it kind of has this like this almost not corduroy feel to it. It's got these lines in it, this design, and so do the clothes of so do this green one and the blue one. They've got the same pattern, the lines going through the material. So either somebody was buying all from the same material factory, which is possible back then, but they're also, like I said, they're shorter pants with taller boots, and it seems to fit really well. And I have looked and looked and looked to see if I can place another action figure with this outfit on it. Even dolls, nothing. So I'm getting more and more the sneaking suspicion that this is the way this guy came, with the same 3 masks. I don't know if he was called the same, Robot Man of 4 Faces. I'm guessing yes. Maybe it was a later edition, maybe an early edition. I don't know. But it definitely was one of my top figures to get, and I looked and looked and looked before I was able to come across these 3, which I was very excited about. All right, so if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the bottom. I know this is a little brief. I got a lot of shit I got to get done, and this is trying to take a break. I've been trying to do this since yesterday or the day before, and just did not get a chance to do it. But if you're out there and you're looking for $6 Million Man stuff, I would tell you the Steve Austin figures are pretty, not too bad to get. The prices are still pretty reasonable. The Maskatron's getting up, the Oscar Goldmans, especially if you get in with the suitcase, exploding suitcase, he's getting pricey. If they're boxed, forget it. They're way out of this world. The Jamie Summers, they've got the car and some of the pieces over there and the walkie-talkie set and so on. The Fembots, she's been going through the roof. But they're out there if you want them. They're out there. You just got to look and you decide if you want to spend the cash or something like this. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. You can like, you can subscribe, or you don't have to. Either way, we're just here to have fun. I hope you guys are enjoying your collections. Have a great evening. Peace.